Hello, welcome back to Sharks Happen. On today's episode, we are going to go over a multiple shark attack. This is a surfer that had been attacked by two great whites at the same time. We're going to go back to 2000, July 17th of 2000. Shannon Ainslee, he is 17 years old. He is out doing some surfing at Nahoon Reef, which is over in East London, South Africa. No telling of the time of the day. Him and his friends were at the location. They were at Nahoon Reef looking at the surf. And they had mentioned in one of the stories that when they smell fishy smells, they don't like to go out into the water. That must have been the case. This is July, and they have the sardine run. So sardines are making a big bait ball going through the area at that time, and great whites will go through a bait ball and scoop up what they can, just like any other kind of shark that finds a bait ball. So they said that chances of running into a sardine ball and having great whites around it is pretty high in the area. So they could smell this fishy smell, it sounds like, and they decide anyway, because the waves are so good, they're going to go in the water anyway. So 15 of them, Shannon and 14 of his buddies, they go out and start doing some surfing, and they're surfing for a good hour, no problem, taking these great waves in, and you'll be able to see one of them. I'll put a picture in there. So Shannon is on a wave, and one of the sharks comes up, and it comes up through the wave, and it peeks its head out and hits Shannon. And now this still picture I'm going to put shows Shannon flipped in the air. You can see his legs are above his head. So this 15 foot great white smacked into his board, flipping him upside down in the air. And you can see that his right hand is down by the shark's mouth. That's because the shark, when he got flipped up in the air, the shark then grabbed both his board and his hand. So his hand is stuck on his board in the shark's mouth when he's flipped upside down in the air like that. Now you can see he talks about a shark to the right and to the left of him. He's out about 100 yards. No telling the depth of water when this happened, but he's at the top of a pretty big wave. It looks like about an 8-foot wave, and he's at the top of that wave when he's flipped into the air. Now the shark that flipped him in the air is to his left when he was on his board. To his right, which is behind him in the wave curl, there's another great white in the top of that curl, same size, 14, 15-foot great white in the top of that curl. Now, Shannon says when he's pulled down into the water by this shark, the other shark comes at him, and it takes a swipe at him. He says the only thing that probably kept him from being bitten in the head, shark was going for his head, is that the other shark had his hand and kind of pulled him out of the way. He also said that second shark was kind of startled by the first shark that had him by the hand. So it sounds like the two sharks didn't know they were going after the same thing. And the second shark swims off. So he's grabbed by the hand, kicked off his board, grabbed by the hand, and pulled down into the water with the board. Everything's in the water. Now another shark comes up and tries to get him in the head. And the only thing that keeps it from happening is that the first shark still has his hand in the mouth and pulls him out of the way. That second shark gets startled by the first shark, and it goes on its way. Now the first shark releases him shortly after it took him out under the water. And he says that he looks over and he's looking eye to eye with the shark. The shark's sitting there and looking at him with the big black eye, and he says that, he didn't seem that shark was kind of startled too. And then that shark left. He pops to the surface with his board, and he's laying on his board, and he looks around. Now, first of all, he doesn't know all of this is real right now. He said that pain didn't feel great when it grabbed him by the hand. And he didn't know for sure. It all happened so quick, he wasn't sure what was up. But when he popped to the surface, he's looking around for his mates, and everybody's heading ashore. Nobody's there to help him. And it looks like there's a guy right by him at the bottom of that curl of the wave when the two sharks are getting him. So he's being attacked. Everybody sees it, and they bolt for shore. It's not funny, but I'd hate to have that situation. So 14 of his buddies are heading into shore, and he's out there 100 yards still from shore, and now the water goes flat. He doesn't have these waves to help him get in, and he has this come to Jesus moment where he realizes that this is real. He starts crying a bit. He thinks that the sharks are going to come back and finish him off. And a wave suddenly kicks up. And he's able to stay on his stomach, but surf that in most of the way, and then he had to paddle the rest of the way. And he said he felt all the pain in his hand as he's doing the paddling in. And I'll put a picture of his hand, the big slice right through the center of his hand. That's where the tooth must have had him when he was being whipped around. And I'll put that picture in there, but you can see that the hand got pretty mangled up. He said the wrist was pretty messed up in the situation. Then you can see one of the fingers' flesh is gone. You can see the hole in the hand. And, you know, he gets in, his mates make a tourniquet for him out of one of their leashes for a board. He gets in and gets his hand all sewn up and taken care of. I didn't hear of any major damage as far as, you know, nerves, tendons, anything like that. So hopefully he just got sewed up and he was good to go after that. But a crazy situation, and it's caught on video. It was a stranger that was on the beach that was videoing and caught this double shark attack on tape. So, you know, a lot of times they say 2 sharks were involved, and we're going to go over some more of these in these double shark attacks or multiple shark attacks. Some of them are going to be questionable, and we're still going to go over them because it said that it could be 2 sharks. And one of them, can't remember the name, Johnson I think his last name is, and he was attacked while he was doing some, I believe it was abalone diving, and the skipper said that 2 sharks had taken him and eaten him. We'll go over those kind of attacks too, but this one is proven on tape. 2 of those sharks in the curl of the wave attacking a surfer. This is going to go down because we haven't covered this for the show. On my other single attacks, we're going over things that we've already gone over. But some of these multiple attack situations and multiple victim situations, we may be going over brand new ones. And that's the case here. We haven't covered Shannon's attack yet. I wanted to save it for a while until we went through enough of these attacks on surfers and everybody else to see what this would be like, because it's so out of the ordinary. But, you know, people have brought up, are these sharks playing? And in this case, I would say yes. I mean, you got 2 of them sitting there going after the same surfer, and the one that grabs him by the hand on the board seems shocked that the guy is sitting there. Again, they're not after people. It's not a personal thing when they're going after a surfboard. It's more like they're going after a boat or a kayak than they're going after a person, as in a shark attack against a swimmer, a diver, any of those situations. Just a crazy attack though. Both large sharks, 14-footers, and we do have that clip, I'll put it up right now, of great whites in a feeding situation where they're split second make a decision not to bite the other shark. Even though they're in a frenzied situation, they can still keep themselves from doing something they don't want to do. So, you know, all this bite by accident stuff doesn't happen because they can hold off on that view there. That's a split second, and it's going to bite that tuna, and it turns and there's a shark there, and it keeps itself from biting it. That tells me that they're not doing this stuff by accident, just like everything else that we cover. So that's the attack on Shannon Ainslee, an unbelievable double shark attack, not an attempt to predate. The surfboard is toast. The surfboard itself has a big crescent shape bite to it. The bottom jaws underneath where the fins are, it has a bite down there, and it looks like it's about 10 to 12 inches wide. So bottom jaw of a 14-foot great white shark on the board that ripped it up pretty good. So the board is toast. So attack, not an attempt to predate, by 2 14-foot great white sharks on Shannon Ainslee, and an injury to the hand, but lucky to get out of there with only that, with the second shark trying to get him in the head. That second shark got him in the head, we wouldn't be talking about a survival. So just an odd attack, and that's our story of Shannon Ainslee. And I hope you'll join us again. But again, if you go into that water, you are much more afraid of 2 of these guys than they are of you.